Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, these are all individuals that just want to game the system. Some of them are faucets for the movement of the bowels of media, such as videos, movies, TV show movie, and video games. Of all these three things, you don't even own them anymore unless you go out and buy a physical copy. Sometimes even when you go out and buy the physical copy, you can't actually play the game. Anyways, it used to be that you could go out if you wanted to get the new system and maybe wait. I remember in the case of Nintendo 64, I had to wait, I believe it was about 6 months for the price to drop. But man, I was there. I wanted one super bad. We got a price drop. And then eventually everyone managed to get a Nintendo 64. It almost always felt like you had that prestige of having something really nice when you had the 64. And then there were the special editions. But unless you were talking about release day and the few days leading up to it, you generally could go out and get the unit. You could go out and you could buy that thing. You could find it, and it would be a glorious day that you would have it. Not that you found it, but that you had it. Now what we have is a system that's changing from the bottom up in multiple ways. And unless you get your fingers into systems and start seeing how systems work, and then start wondering, is that ethical? We're finding that it is still very difficult to find certain systems. I mean, I finally managed to find the latest Xbox, the big one. The names for Xboxes are so stupid, convoluted, and confusing that I'm not even sure which one is which. I got the Series X and the Series S. The S is the white one, the X is the black one. But even before that unit came out, there were people buying older versions of the Microsoft Xbox One. I'm completely confused with the title. And Microsoft, you're a bunch of idiots when it comes to titling. You must be freaking American, because instead of counting to 10, you all count to 12 and then figure out the decimal system. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be making fun of freedom units. I'm just mad about fair trade. Actually, no, I'm not. You guys in the States deserve, you make your John Deere tractors, you deserve to be able to pay Americans to drive those John Deere tractors and to make those John Deere tractors. And even within the story of John Deere, a very American title, known for American farming, known for American solutions. And sometimes those solutions mean you're in the back freaking 40 acres away from anything, and all you got is your tractor. Anywho, the systems these days is more set up like this unit is going to be perpetually rare to find. I remember, I think it was, how long has it been out? Like, it was 4, maybe 5 years after the Xbox came out. I was actually able to find an X, which is the biggest one, I believe. And the thing was, that was the first time I literally laid eyes on it. I was just in Port Dover. I just happened to see it, and there it is. It's like a shiny Pokemon. The gods smiled at me. But what I want to point out is how difficult it was to get. Like, yes, there was COVID. Yes, there was things. But in '08, we discovered something called greedflation. And there was definitely a lot of it. And after COVID, all of the businesses seem to feel like if we don't cover for this greedflation, then we're not taking advantage of something. Now, people with higher power and more money would then make these new systems more difficult to get. In the supply stream, y'all don't even know some of the crazy stuff that happened in order to get Xbox Ones, Xbox. I don't even know the names anymore, but the best one. On Reddit, we constantly see it in Canada, especially around Toronto. People that were just on the side of the roads that had a the back of their car was full of these things. So we have these scalpers now. Now it's not just the scalpers. So we have the corporations creating scarcity so people will want their thing. We have scalpers somehow getting into the supply chain and buying everything out and keeping their prices like inherently stupid high. This video game system suddenly a collectible damn near. You had to get it on eBay and spend so much money. Like Yeah, that was a thing for every system, but it stopped after like the first 6 months because the supply chain basically caught up. These days, we're seeing stuff like with Nintendo now. They're just making everything so goddamn expensive and slowly taking away our rights as gamers. We need to fight for these rights. We need to fight for our right to party alone, by ourselves, on the couch, without anyone taking away our rights. Damn. I just wish gamers could be gamers. But there's always someone there trying to take something from us. And I think we need to watch closely for that. Gamers are gamers. And there's just some people out there that instead of wanting to go to the river to get water, you get people that just want to move the entire freaking river to their place so nobody else can drink. And we have to nerf that. The free market is not the way that it was in America, in Canada. These markets are not the way they were in the 80s. They're being manipulated because we have more people coming in and being here with the idea that, and I guess it's a very American idea, it was Dodge that brought upon the Ford company to say that the money should go to the investors and the money should not go to the employees or the corporation. They need to think about the investors first and foremost, which has brought us all to hell. And also, we have people who are very industrious from other nations coming in that are unbelievably cutthroat. Unbelievably cutthroat. Some of them have a caste system where their religion flat out says you don't have to respect these people, you don't have to care about these people because they're lower than you, and because they're lower than you, you get to do this, and this to them. The same way that the Bible tells certain people that they have full dominance over all of their animals and full dominance over their wife. Now, that's not all Christians. That's not everyone's interpretation of the Bible. But if you interpret the Bible in particular ways, you get ownership over your wife. You get ownership over your animals. It's abundantly clear when it comes to animals. It's abundantly clear. When it comes to the wife, there's a little bit of nuance in it if you argue, but look at the second book of Timothy. I think it's verses 1:17, and I suffer not a woman to teach or learn in the same room as a man. We don't put up with that shit in our society. We don't put up with that shit. Women are equal. That's the freaking law, regardless of your religion. We've kicked in religion so that we don't have to deal with that BS. But we legitimately have an idea system that some people deserve video game systems and some people don't. It seems to be going more and more that way when we look at the Nintendo system. We are dealing more and more with class wars. And we're seeing a rise in a small amount of rich people and a rise in the people who have basically no money. And that's heartbreaking. And because of that, we're going to be seeing more stuff like that. Anyways, that's my thoughts. Thanks for tuning in. Take care of each other, will you?